guys and gals, never here from Drakewing Gaming, and some of you on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Conway, Julian's Path. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Okay, so I had to get the CGs for each of these guys, I have to win the game of dice. So I have to keep rolling it until I win, so I can get a spicy pick. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump right back in. I'll be right back. I just gonna get the dice. He spins around, his tail almost slapping you as he does, and off he goes to where he stored his belongings. You hold on to the rope of the swinging table and slide yourself along the bench on the opposite side of the table from Wolf. The black canine rests both his arms on the table and looks after Julian. Soft blue light comes streaming in through the port opening to give his side a rather beautiful soft sheen, along with a refreshing bit of breeze from outside. Something that is desperately needed below deck. The silence between the two of you lasts for a while until you break it to try to ease the awkwardness. Wasn't so bad then, was it? What was? Wolf answers without taking his eyes off of Julian at the back of the deck. The morning shift, I mean. The canine simply stays quiet and doesn't engage with your small talk beyond a brief glance at you. You let your claws trail through the rough grain of the table while you wait, and thankfully, soon enough, the sound of Julian's voice breaks the awkward wait as he sits down beside you on the bench. Found him! He casually flicks a small leather pouch onto the table, which lands with the rattle of the dice inside. Any preference for a game? Hazard? Raffle? Hazard is my vote. Sure, hazard's good. You nod in agreement and watch as Julian picks two dice from the pouch. They were simple wooden dice, no paint, not even to mark the carved pips. Looked like they could have been made by Julian himself. He set them in front of Wolf, who was happy enough to start with the first roll. A bit of a gambler then, Wolf? Is that what brought you here? Gambling debts that left you in nothing but rags? Come on, rags, it's a normal shirt. Oh. The dice land on 6 as Wolf rolls his mane. Hold up. Okay. Let's do it. The dice lands on 6 as Wolf rolls his mane, accompanied with a scoff at Julian's comment coming from the canine. I don't really care what Fancy Boy thinks about how I dress, and I'm not stupid enough to get caught up in games to that degree, no. But betting on a good bottle of wine as the sun sets behind the tree line? Now those are some memories. Naturally, I won that bet. Maybe if I hadn't, I wouldn't remember it so fondly. Another roll follows, a chance 10 at first, sending him hunting for another 10 now, though the next roll comes up as an 8. Well, no such luck just yet, it seems. What wine was that? Wolf scoots up the dice again to prepare for the next roll. Fuck if I know. All I know is that it tasted good and got me drunk. Such a connoisseur. If you could bet on expensive wine, you must have done pretty well back then. The dice roll again with a hollow wooden clacking. If you take me for one, then I honestly don't know what to tell you, and, well, I had my ways. Had your ways? I suppose I'm not the only one who breaks into someone's food stock to gorge myself all night long. Nothing ever that childish, no. Ooh, cinnamon toast coffee is so good. 10, much to Wolf's delight. There we go. Maybe we should bet something after all if it's gonna go like this. Not me, I've got nothing to bet. Let's keep it friendly for now. Maybe another day when your luck is worse. Wolf chuckles and collects the dice again. This time, however, he pushes them across the table to you instead. You take them and roll for your main. Twice in a row, you come up with the invalid rolls until you manage to roll an 8. What did Arthur want from you anyways, James? The Wolf lifts a paw to rest his head on his knuckles as he watches you roll. I don't know. He just seems to see me connected to all problems somehow. Like, I'm the cause of everything that's going wrong. A subtle, what you assume may be a sympathetic growl comes from him in response. I don't like him. I just can't quite make heads or tails of what he is on about. My father told me a little bit about him. He was a captain in the military, very well regarded, and my old man was over the moon that I would learn under him. Julian rests his head on the palm of his hand. So he has the credentials, but from everything I've seen so far, I'm not sure if they aren't different. Aren't different Arthurs are talking about. Wolf reaches across the table and gives your paws a light nudge with his own. Roll the stupid dice, will you? Hey, my dice are not stupid. Be careful what you say or you won't be allowed to use them anymore. You do as you were told and try to de-escalate the moment by throwing your next roll. But no luck, nor do you have much on the roll after that. As if that's a threat. I've got all the winning cards in my hand here, Lizard. Either I get to enjoy some dice, or I get to enjoy peace and quiet while you're busy far away from me. The smirk on Wolf's face was impossible to miss. His head tilted in your direction, to give you a good chance to see the teeth gleaming past his lips. Certainly better cards than you, boy. One more roll. Let's see if you've got it, or perhaps Arthur's right and we'll have to start avoiding you.
You'll get it this time.
Oh, he absolutely will not, Lizard. You pick up the 2 dice again and let them go for your third, potentially last roll. What's the outcome of your roll? Give me a winning roll. Oh, okay. Luck is on your side after all. You smirk back at Wolf and pass the dice over to Julian. There's a lot of luck bundled up in this cat, I'll have you know. Maybe I'll have to watch you instead and try to avoid you crossing my path.
Isn't that saying about black cats?
You can barely contain your wide grin as you try to make sure not to stumble over your words and mess up the next sentence.
Well, perhaps I wouldn't have confused it if he wasn't such a pussycat and be a bet against me.
Wolf raises his hands defensively and leans back on the bench. Whoa, whoa, when did you grow some teeth? Don't get cocky now just because you've won out once. Rest assured, I still have plenty of instinct left when it comes to fighting cats if I have to start teaching you some manners. Wolf teases you with the smirk still present from before, and as always, it is difficult to judge just how serious he is about it. Come on, Jules, your turn. Julian stops in his tracks and scans Wolf with a questioning look.
Did you...
Don't make it weird right away, will you? You look back and forth between the two of them until the sound of the dice draws your attention. It takes a second try, but in the end, Julian lands on a 7 for his main. Well, let's see how your luck stacks up on his.
7 is my lucky number, so I don't have any doubt.
His scale-covered hands reach for the dice again as he prepares for the next roll. The throw sends the dice across the table, one of them with so much momentum that it was sent right off the table. You try to catch it mid-flight, but all you manage to do is knock it back into the air in an even wider arc. Was that enough to get you overexcited? With a little more feeling next time. Huh. You go after the die and get down on your knees to collect it, and in the process apparently provide the two of them with a pretty good sight.
Maybe I should toss them on the deck a little more often if you go after them so eagerly.
When you turn around to hand the die back, you notice Julian's eyes trained firmly on you. Aren't you a curious one?
Yeah, I just had to make sure you wouldn't nick my die. Not my fault that you picked things off the ground with your tail raised so invitingly high.
Unable to avoid it, you feel a faint hint of warmth flush across your snout. You better not start talking about polishing wood again. I already have more thoughts about the two of you in my mind than I ever wanted to have. Oh, really now? You sit back down and give the die back to Julian, who immediately goes for a repeat roll with a little more feeling this time. A 4? Well, so much for your lucky number. Julian immediately leans over the table to collect the dice again with an uncharacteristic grumble coming from him.
You just wait, it's just charging and lulling you into a false sense of security. And then when the time is right, luck strikes!
Luck strikes! There you go. The dice roll again, and... 12. How much signs of your luck so far is there? Oh, 12 is bad, I guess. You sure you don't feel like betting something? Because I do rather feel like pulling something from your pockets. The teasing smirk on Wolf's muzzle showed its full effect, with Julian thinking long and hard if he should push for a bet.
The fife?
The Wolf recoils on the bench. Fuck no! I'm not putting up a gift as a wager. Buy your own damn thing. Do we really want to start involving valuables? I thought we decided on it being just for fun.
Just don't get involved then. I have to teach him a lesson, though. How about a favor, then? The winner gets to have one favor to call up from the loser. A dare or something, as long as no valuables are involved. Sounds harmless enough to get you in as well?
A dare? You really are a damn child, you know that? The Wolf leans back, raising his paws and shrugs dismissively. Fine. Have it your way. Julian turns to search you for your answer with a glint of a smirk that suggests that he already has something planned. Should you really get involved? Not sure we can really have a fair bet with the three of us. Do we just pick our numbers and go for one roll, and the winner is on whichever the number belongs to it that lands on? Blah. The number belongs to that it lands on? Sounds good to me.
Sounds good. What do you say? Are you in, James?
Do you join the bet? Yes. Count me in. I'll even be the one who only gets 3 of the possible numbers. Some risk just adds to the fun. Plus, I'll win anyway, so what does it matter? Julian responds with a playful push against your shoulder and a welcoming laugh. As if, but it's cute that you actually believe you're going to win. Right, so do you want 2, 3, and 4? I'll go for 5, 6, and 7, and 8, and Wolf gets the rest up to 12? Both you and Wolf give him an affirmative nod. With a last glance, he makes sure neither you nor Wolf have anything more to say before he rolls the dice across the table with a flick of his wrist. With something on the line, all of a sudden they appear to roll in that much more of a dramatic fashion, dancing from one of their edges to the next until they land on 10. Julian leans over the table and stares at the dice as if the faces are lying to him. After a moment, he slinks back into his seat, throwing his hands in the air with a theatrical sigh. Seems like Lady Luck is setting up my dramatic comeback. Well, Wolf, you win. A deal's a deal. We are at your mercy. How does this general handle the vanquished? Wolf glares at Julian as the lizard mimics handing over his sword. The canine's gaze lingers, thinking, then his eyes narrow. Julian tries to act casual, as if he is graciously waiting for Wolf's decision, but the long silence begins to get to him. His smile fades and then turns into a frown before he looks at you. Look at the way he's staring at me! We're both doomed! I'm sure Wolf won't kill you. He'll just think of the best way to make you suffer. What about you? Oh, I'm sure he's saving the best for you. I'm getting off easy. Lizard gives you a playful shove. You're very helpful. Great at cheering up the man facing execution. Wolf rolls his eyes as you laugh. The canine leans back, satisfied. I've decided. Lizard? Julian shifts forward in his seat, looking equally curious and apprehensive. What is it? Shut up for a day. Not a noise until this time tomorrow. What? You can't be serious! Wolf holds a finger in front of his snout, shushing Julian. Julian opens and closes his mouth a few times and stops, frowning. Wolf holds a hand up to his ear before turning to you. Hear that? Sweet silence. You laugh at Julian's misfortune, but the lizard mouths along with Wolf's words in a ridiculous, exaggerated way. Wolf just ignores him, still looking at you. As for you... He taps the desk as he thinks again, but it doesn't last nearly as long. He just shrugs a little. Give me half your dinner tonight. You groan at the thought of missing out on food. Fine, you got it. A deal's a deal. Julian looks between the two of you, astonished. He then pouts. Wolf is relishing the silence from Julian, leaning back with a toothy smirk. And I will go back and do Julian's, and then I'll do James winning. Hey, you got off easy, Jules. You just have to not talk. I'm the one going hungry. Much harder ordeal for him. The lizard is still pouting at the two of you as he collects his dice. He makes sure to tap them noisily on the table a few times in protest. Ah, poor Julian, reduced to making noises this way, unable to grace us with his thespian speech. Is what? It means an actor, I think. Julian looks between the two of you, exasperated. Wolf ignores him. Don't take up his mantle of saying words no one knows. I just want to have one normal day without it. All right, fair enough. Well, what now? Wolf shrugs. You stand up and the other two follow. Well, we can try to figure out what we'll do without Samuel, I suppose. Julian gestures out the door, then holds his fingers in front of his face, blowing air. A whistle? Come on, let's go topside to get some fresh air. Might see someone we can ask. Julian makes a gesture again, but realizes neither of you understand what he is getting at. He lets out a frustrated sigh, but others follow behind you. Well, how are you enjoying your silence, Wolf? The canine looks back at Julian and then shrugs. Another attempt at small talk, foiled by the great Wolf. He continues striding on in silence while Julian trails behind the both of you, arms folded over his chest. Your walk is silent. You keep glancing back at Jules to ensure he isn't trying to signal something to you, but he seems to have accepted his lot in life for the moment. Okay, so that actually does change things. So I'm going to save that right there. Alright, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silver, and thank you above beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks to our three gold tier patrons, Zeke, Toby, and Blue Alpha Wolf. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much for your donations. We greatly appreciate it. And if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our Not Safe for Work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!